I will start by saying Happy New Year, Dr. Steinmetz, and to say that I am so honored and privileged to be starting out this year in this new position as Inclusion Liaison for the Office of the Chancellor. And we really wanted to start this year off the way so many do in January, reflecting on the year past, where we are today, and really setting some intentions for the days to come. I don't think it's a controversial statement to say that 2020 was a difficult year for so many, between a global pandemic, the economic downturn as a result of COVID-19, and really our nation's collective reckoning with racial injustice. How do you see the difference between an institution being simply not racist and an institution being anti-racist?
I look at the history of the institution and say that for us it's 150 years as of this year, and most of that history, some 90 years of it, was a single race university, was a white university. And so only the last 50 to 60 years has this really been an institution where there are underrepresented minorities that are actually here, and underrepresented groups in particular that are here. And I think, like a lot of other universities, we make that declaration about not being racist, but we have few things that we've actively done to be anti-racist, and there is a difference.
Tell me a little bit about how you see the University of Arkansas being an anti-racist institution.
When you bring people into the institution that I think are much more diverse than the institution currently looks like, I think it's the number one way that you begin this period of time of becoming a true anti-racist campus. And so moving forward, what I want the outside world to say is to look at the University of Arkansas and say they're noted for their research and they're noted for their teaching, but they're also noted as the most equitable and inclusive place there is.
What do you think could be the effects of this sort of change on a major institution like this?
There's nothing like having others that think differently and who are different from you to actually educate individuals about the world around them. And I think the attitude of being anti-racist would come out of that, and out of that kind of environment. You can't help it because you're immersed, I think, in a different climate, in a different context than what most institutions have. So that's what we should be striving for.
Do you think that this is too big, too pie in the sky to really aspire for something that big?
So it is big. It'll be hard to accomplish. There's no doubt about that. But I think that if anything the pandemic has told us about this institution is we can be more flexible than we think we can be. And I think we can be more reactive than we think we can be. And I say that because we made some serious pivots of the way we operate this university in a short period of time because of a pandemic. This is a different kind of a pandemic. It's a long-lasting pandemic that's been around for a long time. But I'm very fully confident that we can be a different institution in a shorter period of time.
How has this year changed you as a leader and as a person?
I think the way it changed me is over the last years, this past year, I've had ample opportunities over and over again to look at this equality issue in particular, and to look at how all of these things that we're talking about have actually differentially affected people. And that's given me a new perspective, not only on society in general, about the challenges that we have as a university as well.
How do you think, selfishly, for me in this position, I can best support you, and more importantly, the students in your efforts to make this a more inclusive institution?
In this effort, I think to create this anti-racist campus, it's going to take the participation of the campus in this. And that might be a pair of eyes that are needed on virtually everything that we do, particularly policies that we write. And I don't know if we've always had the lens on whether policies that we write are fair to everybody or if they impact everybody the same way. So everything from policies to the committees that we have to the membership on the committees, I think you can be a great asset in keeping, again, that student voice in particular in perspective. Because I often find out they're talking about something totally different than I think they're talking about.
Sure.
And so that kind of perspective I'm looking forward to having. It'll be something that I currently rarely get.
I thank you so much for this conversation, and I thank you for your efforts moving forward. I know that these conversations are not easy, but they are necessary, and I look forward to having more of these sit-downs with you in the future.
We'll do this regularly, I think, and talking maybe more specific issues as they come up for conversation. I'm looking forward to 2021. I think it's going to be a better year, and we learned a lot in 2020, so I'm ready.
Let's get to work.
Yep.